So what do you do when you have limited space for your dumpsters, whether that's dump trailers or actual cans? What options do you really have out there? For me, in my particular case, I've kind of been at a crossroads. I have a storage facility area that I'm able to rent for really, really cheap, about $50 a month. But the trade-off with that is that it's 19 miles away from my home. It's 19 miles away one way, so that's roughly 40 miles round trip. So in my particular case, I'm trading a cheaper, storage area for my time, for my fuel, for my wear and tear on my truck and the trailer, a lot of those things. So let's go ahead and get into the numbers of this situation and share with you what I have done to make it worth my while. So before we get into other options that are out there, I just want to quickly break down the cost of what it takes me to actually go from my home to the storage facility and then back to town, to then start kind of from the edge of town where I live to then go wherever I would actually need to be going to drop off. So like I said before, roughly 19 miles one way, so times that by 2 just to get back to town, this is the area, this edge of the area where I really want to be as far as my business service area goes. So that's just to get back to where I want to be for the most part. I am willing to go to other places around my area, but this is kind of the central hub. So 19 miles, so that's 38 miles total, kind of rounding up to 40 just to make it a little bit easier and being on the more conservative side. So it's 40 miles round trip. I know my truck loaded, whether it's a dump trailer, whether it's a small little utility trailer, loaded or not, doesn't matter. I'm going to get roughly, we're just gonna be conservative and say 10 mpg. So right off the bat, that's 2 gallons just to come back with it loaded. To get there, I'm somewhere in between 15 to 18, maybe 19 mpg. Again, with the idling time, and all that, we're gonna round up to 2 gallons of fuel for that as well. So we're basically at 4 gallons round trip for fuel. It's about 30 minutes to get there, probably 5 or 10 minutes to hook up, make sure it's good to go, and then another 30 minutes back. So we're looking at roughly an hour and 5 or 10 minutes of my time. We're looking at roughly 4 gallons of fuel, which right now, the cost of diesel in my area will go $3.25. We'll say $3.25 a gallon, kind of the middle of the range there. $3.25 times $4, that's going to be $13. So for one dumpster rental, it's going to cost me an hour 10 of my time. It's going to cost me $13 in fuel just to get it back to the edge of town, not going where I want to, where it's actually going to be around my area, just to get it to the edge of town, for the most part, where most of my dumpsters are rented. And then whatever the wear and tear is for the tires, oil, filters, all of those other things, which I'm sure there's a number I could come up with, but just for sake of it, I'm going to leave that number out. That's going to be associated with my direct cost, but it's not going to be a crazy amount of money. But so we're looking at 13 in fuel plus an hour and some change of my time, or potentially down the road an hour and some change of me having to pay somebody else. So that's kind of what my setup has been. That $50, that's the fixed cost per month. I'm basically paying for potentially both of my dump trailers to sit there for the whole month if I wanted to. As I add more trailers, if I wanted to, I have the ability to pay like $25 really, basically per additional dumpster for the month if I wanted that. To have more vehicles there, more dump trailers there. But basically I've got that $50 fixed cost per month, and then each time I do this, it's costing me $13 and all the other times. So let's just say in 1 month, we'll just be conservative. You know, you'll have a dumpster rented on a Monday, Tuesday, and then it's rented out Wednesday, and I might not have to bring it back and then come back each time. That's just grabbing and bringing it home There's the other cost of delivering it there and leaving it there and then coming back. So really, it's $13 and times 2. So $26 per dumpster rental if I don't have it back-to-back rented out. So it really does stack up when you're not back-to-back renting it out, and you don't even need to deliver it to the storage facility. So let's just say, for sake of argument, you don't have your dumpster rented out back-to-back every single day, of course. That would be great. That'd be fantastic. You don't have to really ever take it to the storage place to actually have it parked there. But let's just say in a month's time, let's say there's 10 times where you have to actually return it back to the storage place because you don't have another customer for that next day, and you're not going to be able to leave it anywhere else. So let's just say for 10 rentals, we're looking at a total of $26 round trip. That's going, grabbing it, bringing it back to the edge of town, and then delivering it where else, additional fuel, and then delivering it back there and then coming back empty. So $26 in fuel plus all the other time. So that's 2 hours and 25 minutes maybe for the time round trip doing all that. But it's $26 a piece for one dumpster. So times that by 10. So you're at $260 in fuel in 1 month's time. If, for sake of argument, you had 10 dumpsters, 10 rentals that you didn't have an immediate rental right after that, and I had to go take it back to that location where I store it. That's a problem. So for me, I've kind of come to the conclusion, this isn't really that sustainable. It's costing me a lot more time. It's costing me a lot more money than just $50, because we can get wrapped up sometimes thinking, oh, it only cost me $50 to store it. Actually, no. In my particular case, it cost me $50 plus all that time and fuel, all the wear and tear on my truck and trailers, all that tire tread. Like it adds up. That's a lot of miles. So for me, that wait just for 10 dumpsters in 1 month, where I don't have it rented out the very next day, so I've got to go take it back, you're roughly looking at $260. So what I have done, and maybe this is an option for you, maybe it's not, maybe you're able to work towards something. Of course, the ideal situation is you buy your own piece of land, or lease a piece of land, something in town that's nearby or on the edge of town, something that's cost effective, and you're able to save money there. So what I have done, I didn't buy a piece of land yet. I'm probably far from that, but whatever. What I have done is, right next to the one transfer station I have in town, or on the edge of town, there is a storage facility. And that storage facility has parking in the back for campers, for all sorts of trucks and campers, whatever that may look like, trailers. And so what I did was I compared these numbers that I have been paying, or potentially could up to be paying those prices for fuel and my time and everything, and I weighed the two. So the area that I decided to pull the trigger on, it's a 12-foot wide by 40-foot long, basically parking space. Campers and everything else is by it. It's fenced in. There's security cameras. It's a gravel lot. It's well maintained. But basically, I have a 40-foot long parking space that I could put both of my dump trailers there, and they would both fit with all the way up to the tongue, the box plus up to the tongue, for both my 14 and 16 foot dump trailers. All that put together is right under 40 foot. So that works. So it's functional, so that's good. And then the next step I had was, okay, well, am I really saving any money? What's the cost of that? Well, the cost for that monthly. There's no contract. It's month to month. I can pull out anytime I need to if things got tight, if I had trouble, or if I wanted to move to a better option. I've got that option still. So per month, I'm paying roughly, I think it's $135 for basically both of my dump trailers being able to be parked there. And now let's look at the wear and tear of the cost. Let's look at the time, and then let's look at the fuel as well. So I'm roughly 3 miles away from the location right there. I'm 3 miles away from the transfer station. So we're looking at a fraction of the fuel, a fraction of the time. I think it takes me about 8 minutes with a couple lights in between my house and the storage facility, which is also, by the way, right next to the transfer station. Literally, there's a fence in between. It's well lit. I mean, it's fantastic, but I'm 8 minutes away. I'm 3 miles away. My cost of fuel is a fraction of that $13 round, one way. Round trip, just grabbing the trailer. It's on the edge of town, but it's already kind of in between the two major towns that I'm kind of in, right where I want to be. So the cost is lower, much lower, obviously per dumpster. The fixed cost is a lot higher, $50 versus $135. So certainly, almost 3 times more expensive there. And yet my cost per dumpster is, probably a fifth of what it would actually be, plus my time. We're talking an hour and 10 minutes, one trip to bring back into town versus, we'll round up to 20 minutes. I drive to the storage place and then I come back to my house for whatever reason. We're talking less than 20 minutes. So the time, the fuel, the wear and tear, the overall cost is a lot less. And it's saving me time and headache, all of those things. So for me, in my case, this is what I've decided to do. I still am renting that other place for $50. And what I'm probably going to do, because I now have the Ford, I've got the plows, I've got my personal utility trailer, I'm probably going to store things over there, most likely, that I don't need on a regular basis. So I don't have to go out there all the time back and forth. And yet I'm still opening up space around my house, and I'm not taking up more area where I really want to be able to be flexible with. So this 40-foot long by 12-foot storage, it's a safe place, security cameras, gate code. It's scalable, so where I can give that gate code to other people. I can change the gate code if I hired somebody and then something went wrong, any number of those things. There's cameras, all that stuff. So for me, this is the route I've taken. Not everybody can buy maybe a piece of land where you just pull that trigger, and that's the nuclear option. You're getting equity. It's probably where you want to be if you're actually making that decision. So for me, this is kind of the middle, the next level, I guess, middle ground for me. It's right next to the transfer station. That's another huge benefit. If I wasn't able to get a dumpster emptied out before the end of the day, before they close, I could make it work where I just go hook up, go next door, dump it, and then go. I'm ready to roll. So this is my situation. Maybe you have a different situation, but I would just encourage you, compare the cost, not just the fixed cost per month, but scale it out. Let's say you have 5, 10 times, maybe even more. Maybe you got a bigger operation going on. What does that look like for you? For me, the cost benefit, when I really looked at the numbers, it was just, it just made so much more sense. And just my mental health of just being able to not be constantly going far back and forth like that, just to grab the dumpster. So anyways, hopefully this was a help to you, thought-provoking, to where this can, get you thinking maybe there's some other options out there. For honestly a long time, I really didn't think about this, and now I'm kicking myself going, dude, what were you doing? Like, this could have saved you so many headaches. Probably a lot more fuel and other things. So anyways, hopefully this was a help to you. Let me know down in the comments below if it was. If you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. Be a big help. Hopefully I can be a help to you as I'm learning and growing in this journey along with you. So hopefully have a great day today. Stay safe and God bless, guys.